Hello, my name is Addie. Welcome back to my channel. Today's video is going to be a summer book rec kind of video, like the perfect beach reads. I mean, they don't have to be right on the beach, but if you find yourself on a beach, it's perfect. I picked out these books because I have no rhyme or reason really for them. I'll try to explain it, why I think they're really great beach reads, but at the end of the day, I don't know how accurate it is. I tried to like mix it up too, with like some obvious ones and some not so obvious ones, where you might be like, what are you thinking? This isn't a beach read at all. But I find it comforting on a beach. So yeah, I just thought this video would be so perfect because like it's May now and it's about to be summer. I'm about to go on like my end of the school year family vacation, so I'm very excited about that. And maybe I'll find some more beach reads. So the first book I picked out is Part of Your World by Abby Jimenez. I picked up this book because it's not exactly in summer. I don't remember what season it is, but it might have been summer actually. But it's about this girl who's like this big city girl. She's a surgeon, and she meets this guy who's very rough and tumble, like very small town, and he lives like a couple hours away, and she finds herself like escaping to see him in this like small town. And I think this reminded me of a beach read because whenever she goes to this small town, it's like her escape, and it's like away from the real world, much like a beach vacation is. So, and it's also very sweet, and it's a great book. It is like a romance, but like I feel like it goes a little bit more beyond that, like Abby Jimenez always does. Like there's elements of like other real world problems and like having to solve like real world obstacles that come in a relationship, but it's always light, it's always fun. I just love Abby Jimenez. The one that comes after this too is amazing, Yours Truly. I actually liked it a little bit better than this, so if you're gonna read this, I definitely recommend reading Yours Truly. The next book I chose is All Roads Lead Here by Mariana Zapata. Again, not set on a beach. It is set in the mountains though, so if you're going on a mountain vacation, like going to Montana, like this would be perfect. I picked this book again, much like Part of Your World, because it's kind of about the main character Aurora getting an escape. She's moving back to what she once called home, but after a breakup, and she's starting over, and it's just not so easy coming back to a place that you left. And she gets to this house and she was renting, and then she finds out she rented it from a child, and his dad was like, no, this was a mistake, like obviously you can't stay here, you're a stranger. And she's like, please, I have nowhere else to go, like there's a small town, like there's not like hotels or anything like that. And eventually he's like, fine. It's very grumpy sunshine. It's Mariana Zapata, so it's a slow burn, but you get to see how like happy she is back being in this like home in like kind of the small town, the mountains, and it becomes like that escape for her. So yeah, I guess that's what the vibe is, and for a lot of these books it's just like an escape, you know. The next book I picked out is The Good Girl Complex by Elle Kennedy. I read this a while ago. I don't remember much what it was about, but I do remember it was like set on like this one actually is set on like a beachside town, so that's mostly the reason I picked it, for the vibes. And Elle Kennedy, like, she wrote The Deal, which I loved. This wasn't as good as The Deal, I'm not gonna lie to you, but it was still good. I haven't read The Bad Girl Reputation yet, which comes after this, but maybe now that summer I will, because I didn't hate this book, which is not what you want to hear in a recommendation video, but I swear it gives off great beach vibes. So if you're going out to a beach, like, this is an amazing pick. So this is also like a very good girl, bad boy type, because she's going to this beachside town to focus on like getting her college degree, and it's in summer right now, and she meets like kind of this like townie, and he's very much a bad boy. He hates all like the trust fund kids that end up coming to the town, but he ends up kind of falling for her, and he's trying not to like tell his let his friends find out, because she is a trust fund kid, like she is a rich girl and she's a very good girl. Elle Kennedy writes good like tension. I really like that about her, so definitely a good beach read. I would definitely recommend. The next one isn't a romance, it's more of a literary fiction, I would say, with little aspects of romance, and that is Malibu Rising by Taylor Jenkins Reid. This book is pretty popular. Taylor Jenkins Reid's a very popular author, so I won't get too into it, but it is set in Malibu, and it's about this party thrown by this model celebrity Nina, who it's kind of set in like a 24-hour interval of like it's organized by in like the 24 hours that it goes down. Like this whole book is 24 hours, which I like. I thought it was really cool, and it was paced really well. This is one of my favorite books of all time, and all you know going into it is that like the night ends with like the house burning down, and then it's kind of like leading up to that, and it's like it shows like sibling dynamics and like relationship dynamics, and it's like, and it has like past and present POV with like the children's mother, and it's so good. This book is so amazing, and it is set in Malibu, and the girl's a surfer, so I definitely think it gives like summer vibes. And if I could literally recommend any Taylor Jenkins Reid book, it would be this one. So I love it. I love it so much. I'll include it in any recommendation video that I possibly can. The next book is a YA, and it's one, I don't read a lot of YA anymore, but it is one of my favorite YA books, and I think I would still enjoy it if I read it now. And that is Alex Approximately by Jenn Bennett. This book is so good. Like, it doesn't feel YA. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it is YA. There's definitely some parts where I'm like, okay, this is like a YA contemporary. But like, it feels a little bit more mature than that. But anyway, it's about this girl Bailey who's super into movies, like old movies. And she's on like this online forum, and she meets this movie fan, Alex, who is on the other side of the country in California, and she's in New Jersey, but she moves in with her dad in California, and her goal for the summer is to meet Alex. And she ends up getting a job at some tourist trap museum, and she meets this lifeguard Porter. It's a lot of like disdain to lovers, kind of like annoyance to lovers, but then she's like going through the months, and she's starting to fall for Porter, and by then she's like, but there's still like Alex, who I'm trying to find. But it's also gives, because Porter's a lifeguard, he's a surfer, it's set on the beach in California. It just gives, and it's on summer break, so it gives the perfect summer vibes. It's very light, it's not too much conflict. It's a very easy read, and I love this so much. The next book I have is Heartbones by Colleen Hoover. This is definitely Colleen Hoover's lightest book out of all the ones I've read. Like, this is the least devastating. Like, I didn't cry during this one. It didn't make me want to throw the book across the room. It's still like not like, I wouldn't say like a rom-com or anything like that. Like, it still like has that depth, but I do think it's the lightest out of her books. It's about this girl Bea, who comes from a really poor background, and Samson, who comes from a family of wealth. And Bea is ending up living with her father, who she's estranged from, but he's very wealthy. But she's going to live with him and her stepmother and her stepsister for the summer. And they're like really big beachside mansion, and Samson lives next door. And they meet, and they soon become really good friends. And they are trying really hard, because she knows she's going back. Bea knows she's leaving after summer, and so they're trying to keep it very like superficial, very summer kind of vibe. They both know that it'll be coming to an end. But then there is a plot twist in here that I didn't see coming at all. Kind of crazy. It wasn't too crazy though, where I felt like I wanted to like hurl the book around the room, but I did. It was a good surprise. It was like, I was happy that it was there to add a little bit more angst, I guess, to the book. But yeah, it is set on like, a lot of these books are set on like coastal towns. So I thought that's literally the reason I picked this. It's the setting, which is the reason I picked a lot of these. But I do still think this would be a good beach read if you don't want like just a rom-com. Okay, the next book I have is the one I was talking about in the beginning, where I was like, you're not gonna understand why I picked this. And I don't really understand why I picked this. It doesn't fit into the category at all. But I don't know, I just couldn't stop staring at it at my shelf and being like, I need to include this, so I am. And that is A Good Girl's Guide to Murder by Holly Jackson. I think I just love this book so much. I think this is just one of my favorite mysteries ever. It's the book that got me into mysteries, and I don't know why, I feel like it just gives me summer vibes. Like, I feel like I wanted to include a thriller in here because I like to have like a variety of genres in a lot of my recommendation videos. It's obviously it's a mystery that has tons of depth, and I think it was so well written. It keeps you on edge, but it doesn't like scare you, you know what I mean? I don't know how to describe it. It's not by a beach, it's not even in summer, but I just feel like it's a cozy mystery. That's what it feels. It is. It's just cozy, because the worst thing that happens is in the very beginning, and then there's a twist at the end where some shit goes down, but it's not like every mystery, but like the worst shit that happens you know from the get-go. So it's definitely a cozy mystery. So if you want like a thriller, this would be great for a beach where you're not like constantly being like, oh my god, oh my god, because I don't like to be stressed out at the beach. Like I don't want to be like, oh my god, who's that guy over there, what's he thinking. That was a horrible reasoning for why I picked this book. Then again, I didn't really have a reason why I picked it. It was literally just I looked at the book and was like, this has to be in the video. It is about this girl. What it's about, it's about this girl, Andy Bell, who's very popular, and she was murdered by her boyfriend Sal, and then Sal killed himself. And then now it's 5 years later, and this girl Pip has this school project, and she wants to re-examine this case for a final project. And she goes to Sal's brother, and it's like, do you mind helping me out with this, or like, is there anything you can tell me? And her brother's like, he didn't do it, you know, like he didn't do it. And Pip's like, I don't really think so either. So they team up and they try and find out the real killer of Andy Bell, or they try and figure out if Sal actually did do it. The next books I have are No Shock to Anybody, the Flawless series, Flawless, Heartless, and Powerless. I know that's not the name of the series, but I call it the Flawless series. I think it's the Chestnut Spring series. Oh yeah, it's the Chestnut Spring series. I am such an Elsie Silver stan, guys. Like, I love her so much, and these books definitely give me summer vibes, just because they're on a farm. It's farm, small town. This one actually is set in summer. This one, I'm not going to go through all they are, but I'll give a quick synopsis of all of them. Flawless, ignore my cover. I didn't know they had the special edition when I bought this one. This one is about the brother Rhett, who is a bull rider, and Summer works for his PR firm, and she is sent basically to keep him in line, and he does not like having a babysitter. So it's a trip for that. And then this one is the other brother, Cade, who has an 8-year-old son, and Willa, who is hired as the nanny because of Summer. She's Summer's best friend from the other book. And Powerless is the childhood best friends to lovers trope. Jasper is an NHL player, and he's the adopted brother, and Sloane is their cousin. Not his cousin, their cousin. But they've been friends since they were really little, and these are just very, like, they're very light romances, but they're also not light enough where, like, you're, like, bored. I honestly wish I saved one of these. I wish I saved Powerless for the beach, but that's okay. There will be other books. But yeah, these books I definitely 100% recommend. The next book I have is In a Jam by Kate Canterbury. I've heard mixed reviews on this book. I loved it. I gave it like a 4 stars. This one definitely gives the summer. It gives summer though, because it's set in summer, first off, and it's about this girl Shay whose great like step grandmother dies or something, and she's like, here, I leave you my tulip farm, but you have to be married within the year and live on the farm for a year. And she's like, I don't know about that. But then she gets left at the altar, and she's like, okay, you know what, I have nothing else to do, so I'm just gonna go. And then she goes back to this like town where she spent a lot of time she grew up in, and she reunites with Noah, who was her friend from she reunites with Noah, who she grew up with, and she doesn't even recognize him because he's like hot now, obviously, and he is the guardian of his niece. And his niece is kind of funny because I don't like kids in books, and I didn't love her either, but she did swear a lot, which I thought was kind of made me giggle a few times. But he was like in love with her in high school, but she was popular. She was pretty popular, and he wasn't. And he's like, even coming back, like, he's mad that she left the way she did, but he's still like really, really into her. And he's like, you know what, I'll marry you. And he's like, why did I do that? I don't like, I'm really mad at you, but like obviously he's still in love with her. So It's the marriage to convenience trope, which I love. And this book is like really, it is set in summer, and it's like on a cute little small town on a like little tulip farm, so it's very sweet. And so yeah, I definitely gives me, it would be a good beach read if you're looking for like a kind of a sweet romance. Nothing happened. This is a very low stakes romance. Nothing that crazy happens. So if you like that for a chill beach read, I definitely recommend this. I saved my most obvious book for last. It's Beach Read by Emily Henry. It's called Beach Read. I had to include it in the Beach Read Rex, and I'm obsessed with Emily Henry. This is one of my favorite Emily Henry books. I would also say Happy Place is a good beach read too. Oh, it's right here. I say Happy Place as well. I'm obsessed with both of these books. I just finished Happy Place. I'm not gonna get really into Happy Place though, because I'm gonna save that for my May wrap up, because I have a lot of thoughts on this, so I'm not gonna talk about it too much. But that one's about like a second chance. That's all you need to know. It's a second chance, and it's like a big friend group vacation town. It's very cute. But Beach Read is about these two writers who went to college together, and she's January and Augustus, and they find themselves on like this little beach town in Michigan, and she's a romance writer and he is like a literary lit or something like that, just not romance. And they're like, okay, well, they're both in kind of a slump, and they're like, you know what, let's just like write each other's book. Like, let's see who could write, if I could write a romance and you can write whatever I write. I'm like actually forgetting what he writes. I think it's literary lit, but let me see. Okay, yeah, it says Augustus will spend the summer writing something happy, and January will pen the next great American novel, which I'm assuming is like a literary fiction book. Yeah, there actually isn't that many. There's like one beach scene in this book, so I can't even really say it's like about being on the beach. Also, a lot of Emily Henry books, People We Meet on Vacation, is also a good beach read. I would recommend any of them, and Book Lovers. They're all very vacation-y vibes. Oh my god, I just realized all her books are on some sort of vacation. That's crazy. But this one is called Beach Read, so that's why it's being highlighted. Yeah, so this book is also one of my favorite books of all time, so that's another reason why I'm recommending it for this. That's all of my beach reads I hope that I have today. I hope you guys enjoyed it. This one was a very chaotic video because I literally picked books that I went off vibes only. Like, there was no like rhyme or reason, and that's probably why the explanations were like kind of everywhere, so I apologize for that, but I hope you at least got the gist of it. Please let me know what other videos you would like to see, and I will definitely do them. And let me know in the comments what your dream summer vacation is. Mine is probably like Greece or like Italy. I think that would be really cool. I hope you guys really enjoyed this video and you got some good recs out of it, and I hope you guys have a fabulous day and a fabulous week, and I will see you guys soon. Bye!